I'm facing back to front, over my shoulder at the sun. and it's an open door. And off my line of sight once more. And I don't learn, no, I don't learn. It'll all be fine this time. And I don't learn, no, I don't learn. 'Cause you always seem so kind. And I don't learn, no, I don't learn. It'll all be fine this time. And I don't learn, no, I don't learn.
All right, people. Wasabi. What's good? Hello, hello, hello. Hello. All right, let me get this thing going. How y'all feeling, guys? Happy Wednesday. Let's get this thing going over here. Aloha. Hola. Damn. Alright, 1 second, y'all. All right, let's get this going. Where's this chat thing? Here we go. What's up, Gerardo? Tradeify Cup Day 3. Let's go. Another day of trading. What's up, Patrick, Joe, Daniel, Seth, Harshi. We got Bon, Nick, Rafa, Jane, Karen, Gabriel, Solomon. What's good, bro? Caius and Jeff, Edgar, Greg, need some jitter juice. Get it, you fiend. Brandon, I mean, I already have mine too. So, got Sonia, hello, Tefi, buenos dias. Fernando, Kanzada, Yoslin, Ruben, Jose. Damn, Hawaii out here up early. Jose, Julian. What's up, everybody? Emmanuel, Michael. Got some movement right now. So, first things first, hope y'all are feeling incredible. Woke up alive and well. Today we're gonna have another amazing day trading. Gonna get into some nice positions. I like how we're seeing things over here. I like how things are at. I think I'm going to break down a couple things here right now, but shout out to y'all that are still in the Tradeify Cup, going crazy. We got some hitters. We got some hitters. Some of us in the Tradetopia community right now are in that top 1,000. Love to see it. I'm not in there quite yet, but we're working in there. I'm not going as aggressive as I feel like I need to at this point. But yeah, keep it up, guys. Well done. And then obviously before you start things off today, if you have trade copiers, then make sure everything's on the way it's supposed to be on. Make sure your accounts are just looking the way they should be looking, and all is good. All right. So now as we're kicking things off, let me know in the chat. Let me know what you got on the radar. Alright, let me know what you got on the radar. What setups are you looking for? Alright. Give me 1 second, just double checking some things on my end too. Okay, un momento. Okay, so yesterday, if you guys were looking at the markets, whether it was indices or metals, I mean, everything reversed pretty strongly towards the end of Asian session. So we had some pretty good movement overall. NASDAQ kind of played out of this zone of support. This break above here wasn't like, I would have wanted to see this trade up here a little bit longer to really feel confident about buys over here. But yeah, I mean, this basically is giving us reaccumulation vibes. But the problem, well, not the problem, there's really no problem with the whether this is going to stay bullish. I'm really not super confident on this rallying. I think we're kind of running out of steam here. It's just like every time we try to get above 29,120, we just keep losing momentum. So we've already taken out yesterday's New York session highs, and we've traded towards Monday's Asian session highs. So I'm not convinced I'm shorting yet, but it does seem like it's almost there. So I want to see us maybe take out some of these previous levels of resistance, especially from Monday, and then maybe we get a short, because I don't have a confirmation on a setup quite yet right now. So I think we can go push a little higher before dropping, at least if it's going to be NQ. Same thing, if you want to take a look at the market with Dow looks a little bit more interesting, because Dow definitely takes out a lot of like yesterday's New York session high. It trades up towards here. If we look at YM as well, YM gets all the way up to here, so it clears this high and then immediately drops. So honestly, and then same thing with S&P. S&P takes out London high, yesterday's New York high, and then drops. So it's the short with indices, I believe, is here. I believe it's time. Like, we're basically there. And whether it's going to be with Dow over here, or it's going to be with S&P. S&P also has the same zone where it takes out the high and then could drop. Dow looks more clean because this is where the money comes in, spikes the market up, and then it's been chopping up, consolidating. So if we're looking specifically on the setup alone, Dow has the best setup. It clears, like this is where money starts to pump in, chops up. Now the difference is price action right now. Here's where so this is 7:22 Central Time. This is where, I just got stop profit out. This is where it takes out the highs and then comes down. So this looks the cleanest. If you look at S&P went lower than this, and then NQ broke lower than this. So right now, Dow is starting to climb up here a little bit faster than NQ. NQ is trading a little bit lower, and then S&P is kind of chilling over here. So it's interesting. Like, price action wise, does selling Dow make the most sense since it's already pulling back pretty decently? No. Then, selling NQ over here, this is like where you have that last push higher, makes a bit more sense. So honestly, this is going to be a real-time position to take for me. Like, I'm going to see New York open, and then based on how the market opens, I believe is going to be the setup here. So I'm going to have shorts ready for either or, and then it's just going to be a real-time decision to make here. And then where I take something like this, I mean, we just have an incredible trend line building up over here. Like, you just have an aggressive movement overall. So, I mean, here you have a pretty decent spike down. So let's say 49,464. Meanwhile, NQ already starting to go even lower. So if we get back up into this range with NASDAQ, which it seems like everything is just going to drop early, it's kind of what it's showing signs of. Already seeing the mitigation of Dow over here, which is unfortunate. Not quite fully mitigated, but it's definitely making a pretty big move. So yeah, this is what I would want to see. And then shorting to this spike down here during Asian session would have been kind of my preferred place to take a short to. So yeah, I mean, I was definitely leaning for shorts. If we have, you know, the market look a little different, maybe I'll take a different position. But looks like this didn't quite get back into the zone, and then I'm able to get in. So that's with that. We're 45 seconds away from New York Open. So while we wait for this, it doesn't look like I'm going to sell Dow. Gold building up more trendline liquidity still. And it's basically worked its way all the way up after pushing down and down and down. I like the gold or silver potential buys as well right here. So here we have a nice sweep down in this buy zone. It's been pretty efficient. And then you have another sweep down here as well, if you can kind of see that. This put out of the order block, but I think we could go even lower. All right, so look at NQ pushing up over here. Let me get to the indices real quick. No, it was Dow. The short happened first. Okay, so this is cool because this will be useful for future data testing, like for better system development. So you see how we came up to the zone for the shakeout? Like the shakeout was super valid here. I would have missed it missed me anyways because I wanted a slightly higher entry, so I can't even be mad about that. Despite this trade right now would have been roughly up a 5R already. But the main thing was the price action was just very clean here. So despite Dow getting up into the zone, the setup itself was really good, whereas NQ never really had the same setup. So here, taking advantage of the specific exact setup would have been it. And then taking the entry just in the imbalance, not necessarily having it all the way up in the order block, yeah, would have played out. Both of these are moving away from each other, so I don't have a motive to get in. Like I don't have a position to take right now. I'm not looking to short NQ. If we were to hold good structure here, then maybe I would sell later up here. And then the push down here, which created London low here. It's not the biggest sweep of liquidity to take a strong position. Like I'm not that convicted, so I'm not looking to take anything there. And then I want you guys to see the difference between silver and gold right now. So for example, gold here pushing down a little bit more slowly to here, while we have silver already below this price. So this was at 4:30 a.m. Central, and then silver around that time is trading way up here. So silver is a lot more bearish. Silver also is leaving potential distribution. And look how we, at the open of the commodities market, we get I think this right here, we see the sweep up before the continuation. So possible shorts on silver later. Yeah, possible shorts on silver later, right there. Meanwhile, S&P pushing lower. You have this same, this is a pretty huge order block here. Last pretty decent push down before it rallied. You have Dow, right, sitting way below. Like I said, these moves aren't giving clean liquidity capture, so not worth taking. This short would have been, yeah, beautiful. Anyone catch that short on Dow regardless. Possible oil shakeout forming on the buy side. Okay, in a gold sell, be nice. Oil buys. Do you think it could target liquidity at 49,851? Apparently not. Did I cancel Dow buys? Right now, it depends on how the market moves towards here. Buying Dow is possible. considering NQ is moving the exact opposite of Dow. So yeah, that was crazy. So it depends, because look, Dow is melting off right now still. NQ is still pushing higher. So I think it's going to depend on kind of where we're at with all of the structure in the market regardless. I haven't decided to give you a straight answer. Okay, oil. So oil here, let's zoom out a little bit. Oil cracked below Monday's New York, into Monday's imbalance. Took out this was London session low, came up, failed to make a high, cracked below here again, struggled. So right now, could oil be a shakeout? Maybe. We take out this low, so we did take out London low, which is great. Yeah, I guess if we could kind of see a creation of liquidity here, then yeah, it's possible. There's definitely, liquidity right here. Wait a minute. Okay, yeah. So you have basically equal highs up here. The market's chopping up. Oil didn't move much at all. So I'd want to see that. Yeah, I think that's a decent trade. I like overall buying with oil more than selling, so I'm not opposed. Dow is still really, really aggressive. NQ held this zone too. So look at how Nasdaq now is dropping. So everything's falling together now. This is why I'm going to be I don't think I'm going to be trading Dow at all, because now NQ is dropping, Dow is going, and S&P is running. So you have a lot of momentum in the same direction. Where we haven't seen big reversals off of huge sells is over here. So NQ, in my opinion, has these areas as entry targets. And here you have pretty big order blocks, pretty big orchestrated sell-offs here. So the same one that S&P has, and then S&P has here, and Q hasn't quite gotten to yet. So I'm gonna be mindful for that. You got into NQ. I didn't see this as a trade, so nice. This to me wasn't a shakeout. It didn't make any sense. The low, it just wasn't confirmed for me. But I'm glad that you're in this. This thing is dying. So I'm missing on the sells. Let's see if I'm on the right side of the buys. Gold slowly working its way lower. I do have this marked up on gold. There is some trendline liquidity here. So this might be a deep entry. Nice. Silver shorts clean. Silver shorts look really good. Yeah. Nice. I caught some of the longs yesterday on metals. On a Harshi 8 on that silver buy. Feasted. So Dow rejecting really strongly. Okay, so I'm gonna set alerts on NQ if we start to work our way into this area. The setup that I had on Dow from the day before was over here. So a nice clear sweep of this low. This would be taking out Tuesday's Asian session. Low right here, and then Here's where I talked about reversals yesterday. I was like, there's retail stops right here. And especially because we weren't getting strong closes above. So getting a below here and then reversing was what I was looking for. And it did. It took out those stops, played off the order block, and then made its move. I don't think this is going to hold up. I think we're going to end it coming back down. What's a little bit annoying here is now NAS has a lot more bearish momentum while Dow is starting to reverse. So the flip-flopping in price action is kind of annoying. If you're considering gold buys, I want to bring this to attention. I know I mentioned it briefly. 5R on Dow. Hell yeah, get yourself Elias. Is that there's this really obvious zone, but then there's a trend line here. So this might break this trend line and trade into this zone. So I want to see if this one would play out. And then this would be breaking out of all of here. There's a possibility, like I might take this if depending on how we move here, like over here. So on this one's going to be just reading price action in real time and kind of seeing if this is going to be a trade. If it's going to break this one because of the trend line liquidity. So this is retail, they buy off of these zones. So we'll have some alerts here set in stone. One to 5 on NQ, sick. And then you have the silver. If silver is going to be making a pretty clean move, it would be basically to here. Right? Silver takes out one last leg, and then it rips from here, confirming a 5-minute time frame, changing direction, rebalancing here, and making some good movement. So this is where I feel like major reversals would happen, would be a little bit lower, which would then align with this lower entry for gold as well. So S&P mitigation was on point. Dow chopping up. NQ, holy damn, NQ is like, you're never gonna know my next move, bro. The sell to me wasn't there, but it doesn't matter. It played out. Okay, so metals, gold just tapping into this low right here, into this first mitigation zone. I'm mindful of this because of the trend line. If it breaks through maybe in a few more minutes, then it kind of makes more sense for this trade. Otherwise, I'm gonna wait it out. Also, like in this zone, like if we're in silver's zone, we're not really retraced too deeply for silver. I feel like we should come down a bit further. So I think taking gold buys would be a little premature. 5R on Dow, 5 on NQ. Silver, y'all going crazy. Let's go, guys. Y'all are crushing it. Someone asked about natural gas somewhere. NG cells. So, okay, this is a nice. The shakeout definitely played out on here for natural gas. A little reaccumulation. This is a counter trend sell on natural gas if you're looking for the short up here. I would love to see this if we have... I want us to stay bearish for more. Like, I don't like when it kind of does this little U shape where it drops down and up pretty quickly. This to me typically is a sign that this is more intended towards a liquidity sweep. to lure in sellers rather than to like establish like, okay, bearish structure. So when I see something like this, I definitely, especially counter trend, I'm not a huge fan. Obviously this can just go lower again and just stay bearish. So I'm gonna stay on the lookout for that. All right, so S&P rebounding nicely, NQ staying choppy. So this kind of further gives the probability that NQ would be the buy later, since it's just holding structure a lot better. SL mini has equal highs. Does it? Oh. You're right. Good looks, bro. That makes sense. And well, gold overall has been, it's a little interesting here because you have, it finally did the trend line break by a pretty small margin, but it did break above and then immediately reversed. So then for all we know here, and depending on how the market trades over here, we might be in the market for a gold sell. Gold sell might be better, especially if we see, let's say, a silver liquidity sweep, and that times in perfectly with gold. But in order for me to want to sell this, I would definitely need for gold to keep staying below this previous low. So if we start trading up to here too quickly, then I'm gonna have to say nope. Just passed an account on TopStep. Should I do XFA standard or XFA consistency? Standard. NQ entry and caps. YM buy shakeout. There's a lot going on, guys. If I were to take a buy anywhere right now, I'm more inclined to buy NQ. But I mean, I can see both. I get it. NQ just took out these highs, so NQ's trading above New York Open, trading above all of this. Nasdaq just took out the. Get out of here. Nasdaq just took out New York Asian session and is trading Monday's New York Asian session, and then is now trading into the imbalance over here. So NQ about to basically find out if this is going to stay bullish or not. Dow obviously ripping aggressively, cleared a ton of liquidity, traded all the way down to here. It could start to set up for a shakeout for sure. I see that, Mondo. I think it's going to depend on how we work, what kind of movement we have on the way down. That's at least how I'll do it. But for sure, like if this starts to just hold price action really well over here, start seeing like some consolidation, something like this, then this could be a possible play. That's if we would have like NQ to just, like what I'm saying, selling off like this. So it's possible. If NQ starts to be way more bearish than everything else, it's like that's when you can start to look for the buy. But if Dow keeps dropping faster and NQ is just chilling up here or just very slowly working its way down, then yeah, I would just keep the buy. So right now, Nasdaq is more bullish. Buys make more sense there. You have Dow that's been more bearish just naturally. So sells here make more sense if they can play out. And then same thing goes with gold. Like gold and silver, it's all going to depend on price action. So to give you a good perspective mentally, right now, what's up, Daniel? You have to basically categorize, okay, what's more bullish, what's more bearish for now. So if I were to choose, I would want buys on NQ because it's been more bullish since the rip. With all this volatility, one of the most common things that I see with traders is that the more the volatility is, the more the FOMO can kick in. The more you're like, oh my God, look at these moves. There's so much movement. I'm not getting in there. I'm missing out on these trades. Like, I could be rich by now. Where's my Lambo? So you have, like, there's just always going to be movement. So you have to control how you think about these situations. Otherwise, it's gonna control you. Pretty straightforward. Every zone I've marked up basically has reversed, and I've taken none of them. And it's just because, like, all of them have been like, kind of setups, not confirmed. So this is one of those days where it's just bouncing, ping-ponging everything. And so I take no credit or even think it's cool that my zones mark up, because it's like those are theories as long as specific conditions are met, and they're not. So structure for me, if that's not met, then there's no trade, and that's what keeps failing to really like happen with any sort of certainty. And so apparently today, it is what it is. Like, it doesn't need it as much. And that's something that would be, I'm sure there's some sort of science behind when the market will just play off of these key reversal zones without really any sort of strong structure whatsoever. So something to figure out eventually, which is cool. Like, I think that's cool. S&P as well. Yeah, everything is just bipolar right now. Like, this is huge liquidity sweep here, rejects off of this order block. So this is complete, in my opinion. This, when S&P goes down, if it goes down, it's gonna just bleed through all of this. So okay, now this is what I was getting at earlier. Look at how now NQ is starting to sell off a lot more aggressively, and Dow is starting to hold up pretty decent. Right, you see the difference here? You've seen this just drop and drop and drop and drop while Dow is going up. So that shakeout that you're talking about, Mondo, now this could make more sense, because we're noticing Dow is starting to flip as the bull of the indices, whereas NQ is starting to have a lot more bearish price action. NASDAQ also takes out a whole bunch of liquidity, and then now is starting to chop up down here. So the short on NQ can definitely make a lot of sense over here, and then we can see this thing kind of work its way down. So shakeout on NQ for shorts is possible. That might end up setting us up for buys on Dow later. So we're kind of seeing both happen. This is a very quick move. So if you're going to take a position with NQ, everything right now hasn't needed too much movement. So a part of me is like, this is probably going to play out without needing a whole bunch of structure. The question then becomes, is it worth the risk? How much risk is this worth? That's the big thing. And then if you're reading price, the last 3 minutes has been pushing 2 minutes, really bullish for NASDAQ. Dow just fell asleep. And then S&P is also pushing, really bullish. So I'm going to take a tiny risk with this. I don't need a ton. The fact that this thing has been so minimally doing its thing, and I'm too fucking slow. Literally, that's how fast this thing was. It's just whatever. You wouldn't sell? Well, good thing you're not selling, and apparently I'm not either. So, yeah, I'm glad that you're doing whatever you're doing, and you keep that up, my guy. NASDAQ, so MNQ is one thing, but remember the most volume is on a mini chart. So when you look at NQ on the mini, NQ takes out these highs. The daily, what? The dailies, there's literally no daily equal highs. Yeah, I don't know. Respectfully, I actually don't know what you're talking about. But even if you're looking at the equal highs that this just took out, this just cleared these retail sells. So, yeah. Anyways, this moved really, really quickly while I was considering the trade. So if anyone was fast enough to take that, then the shakeout on NQ is on. So hopefully someone was able to position themselves there, especially because we're seeing that flip in structure. If I get another pullback, I'm open to still kind of getting into this. But if we don't, then that's all good. For the Tradeify Cup alone, I think you have a lot more room for just like intuitive, quick, and higher risk trades, considering what it takes to get to the top 1,000 right now. So, yeah, you should be chilling. Yesterday's daily high? Okay. Still, yeah, I took it out. So, NQ dropping already, doing its thing. Very nice. Dow ripping. Okay. Gold slowly climbing down. Same thing with silver. The more I look at this, the more I'm gonna wait for the lower zone, and I'm the last one looking for this one. Let's see. Filled a nice little imbalance over here. Good reversals. Let's see if we end up rolling out like this, right? Just racking up consolidation. Here you have the classic break and retest sellers entering shorts on Dow. So if we get more and more of that, the more likely this is to play out. So I feel like we can sell, well, obviously this was my original idea, is you have a NQ sell to a potential Dow buy. Something like that I think could play out. And then your shorts with NQ now, just seeing how we're moving over here. Could look something like this. So this is now more of a 2R. If you want to tighten up your stop, if you're looking to maybe take it like this, I could see that too. Chopping up and down. Maybe NQ honestly goes even further, especially if it's dropping the most. So we'll see. I'm going to set up a position here. I'm going to go half R. So I'm risking half of what I typically would. Let's see. Okay, and then that's in case we end up getting there. This might just miss me. All right, so we're seeing gold come back down into this zone. I'm not convinced quite yet. Yeah, silver's holding up a bit better now. 38.2. And this is giving more and more, this is backing the short here better and better on gold actually as well. So I'm gonna actually delete this. I don't see myself taking this. Dow starting to drop a little bit. So it looks like consolidation is in formation here. With Dow, beautiful. And Q chopping up a little bit more. Alright, let me see in the chat. You guys have anything you're looking at? Wow, NQ5 sec right now is just a beauty. For what reason? Just the structure itself? Let's see. I just got missed from triggering. No way. That would be just devastating. I don't believe it. By a quarter of a tick? Half a tick? That's wild, dude. What? No way. That's disrespectful. So, okay, the first short sell-off on NQ was successful. The shakeout here is riding out. This would be disrespectful. Possible shakeouts on Dow. Let's see. This comes here, drops in, comes up again, breaks above. It can go either way. I could see both happening. Whether it's going to be NQ shorts or Dow buys, since everything is moving in different directions. I guess it's going to be based off of personal preference. You see a mass liquidity sweep with Dow. This lures in break and retest sellers. They have inverse. The last few minutes they're moving in unison. NQ and Dow. If the markets are going to keep moving in opposite directions for now, then one of these will have to break out first. Decisions. Dow longs and NQ shorts just seem wrong. I also, on the higher time frame, still see this as a possibility. This is typically the most conflicting trading that I have to experience, which is when indices are inverse correlating. At that point, typically I just trade them independently. The issue is that these two can kind of get it back into harmony at any point. And so I'm not sure if it's going to do that or not. All right, so what I'm going to do is this. I'm taking half risk setups on both. And Q seems like it might not tag me in, but Dow I think will. So we'll go half risk on this as well. For the cup, do you guys know if you can trade more than one asset at the same time? I don't think I've tried yet. Yeah, I don't know if you can, honestly. And then that's how you get stopped out in 2 seconds. So this is basically what I was afraid of. Afraid is a strong word. But if it was going to flip, if price action was going to flip on, and then they were just going to move in unison. So I was like, you know what? If that happens, that would be really annoying. If NQ and Dow don't want to, like, you see how they were going opposite from each other, but now they're both starting to drop together? Like, that is what I was curious about. So let's see if this holds up. I'm going for a 2.5R on what I would consider a shakeout here, independently on Dow. This losing is possible. That's why I went half risk. And I'm prepared to lose. I don't expect to, but I'm prepared to. And then there's a lower zone if we start to see more movement in that direction. So we'll see over here. Let's see if this wants to play out of here and rally. If this does continue to go and it starts to fill this imbalance, that's when I'll manage my stop. So that's one of the ways that I always move. My stops are based off of how the market is becoming more efficient, especially with this setup. So like an imbalance fill into here, then I'll either tighten up or maybe even go a little bit. If there's some sort of clean, smaller time frame structure, then I'll start to kind of scale in there. Someone said I got 5 accounts with your code. Dope. Yeah, the code, I do giveaways on the channel. So the code there just goes back to you guys anyway. So everyone that buys it with the code just goes to y'all. Cool, appreciate you. And everyone else that does. That's dope. Much love, much love. All right, so it looks like Dow pushing a little bit and Q pushing a little bit. Let's see, gold and silver. So gold still moving a little bit more bearish. Not looking to buy this, right? Like I've said before, not looking to buy this. It is breaking the trend line right now, though. So interesting. That trend line break, though. Ooh. Silver trading up here. So as you guys can see, I use correlation a lot to, I feel like, make more informed decisions. With silver holding structure much better, I think we can get silver to crack down one more time, and that would pull this deeper. However, There's a lot of support right here. So I prioritize how they're correlating and price action more than like, oh, there was support and here's a liquidity sweep. Then you got to put all the pieces together. And so this drops it from what would be a good setup to just not valid enough. So that's my take. Obviously, it might just be another trade that I end up missing out on. But I just don't operate at a scarcity. I know that there's just an abundance of opportunities. So it's all good. And funny enough, now NQ and Dow are not, they're just not doing what I need them to do. So this might be the L on Dow. If I had my stop over here, maybe we have a better chance of staying, but I'm not going to move it. Got to take the L on the chin if that's just what it's going to be like today. And, that's all we can do. That's all that can be done. Zooming out a little. What's up, Kazakhstan? What's happening? Yeah, I want to see silver break below again. See where that takes us. Holding it down. Dow hanging on for dear life. I don't have a lot of hopes for this. Did anyone else take Dow? Or was the market too wishy-washy to just feel confident risking anything with it? Let's see here. Watch the stop loss get hit, guys. This is good. If you're someone who struggles with moving stops, you gotta just watch yours get hit. Otherwise, you're just gonna be a degen forever. Okay, moving over to gold. Gold now entering, just getting closer to that lower zone. So we avoided the loss here by just keeping in mind context clues. And then silver starting to work its way down, right? So silver starting to inch its way to these lower zones. Looks good, it looks good. All right. So I'm getting filled one, just a couple at a time for Dow. There we go. Just one, it's just tapping it, taking an order. There it is. So NQ ended up missing by a fraction of a tick. Dow shakeout. I mean, it technically still could be valid if you have your stop over here. I mean, so it could work out. Gold. Okay, so let's get on point here. Gold. Silver is at a 50% pullback. It's working its way down. This is where we start to see the move, the sell-off, the liquidation over here on silver. So I feel a lot more. I think we have a way bigger chance of success with silver buys than gold. The question is, though, where do you place your stop with a silver buy? Considering that typically it requires a lot more margin, and it's a bigger risk for just using a micro. So yeah, gotta stay mindful. We broke through the trend line, so this could be one of the moments where we start seeing this shift in price action, where gold starts to rip first, and we see that that shift in especially because there's just way more liquidity right here. That's possible, but again, do you want to count on possible? This is rebalancing to the 50%, so it's taking quite a gamble that all of a sudden you're going to start to see the shift in direction first with gold or more aggressively. So is that worth it to you? There is a decent order block here, but so maybe that's going to come into consideration. But yeah, that's now going to be your call, guys. So at the same time, though, I do want to add, we're seeing NQ. Yeah, let me delete this real quick. Bro. All right, well, there's gold. There's gold mitigating. There's NQ starting to reject this. Depending on how aggressively this moves, this might just fully send. So smart money starts selling off right here, about 179 point move. If we keep ripping all the way up to this area, then like that's money coming in. Just off the open, just going forward. So now Dow shakeout is playing out. What a day. What a weird trading day. I've been a great analyst today, but I've been a terrible trader. I think this is the downside of too much context, considering so many different things. This is a setup I typically take. Liquidity, trendline sweep into mitigation, where we have a last point of supply over here. Where Dow was, where silver was at, was what was bothering me, and exactly what I said happened. Gold was going to overtake and start being the bull. Here's the consolation prize. Someone tell me you traded something here. You took gold? Fuck yeah, it's ripping. So stops to break even for sure on gold right now. You're sitting at, let's say, a 3R, almost a 3.5R right now. Dow shakeout is highly ripping. So if you took the typical stop loss, then which is here, this is where we always place our stop. Today I placed it here. I think it was just for a better RR, so I took the risk there. And then NQ has fully mitigated, so now has played off the open. So everything basically ripped in unison. We saw the exchange of, hold on guys, my bad. And then gold is getting all the way over to here. The downside with selling gold here is that this reversed so aggressively. So I would be taking profit. Personally, I'd take profit on gold right now. And then silver just took out the highs at the same time. This might be ambitious, but no, not again. What the fuck, dude? I've been too slow today. That's like my expertise, is I take trades fast. You guys see I'm execution on point. Ah, man, the ping pong would have been fucking epic. And the timing. Do you call both? Mm-hmm. Fuck yeah, man. Let's go. So this is the most. This is a test. This is a test today. Wow. Okay. 5R hit on gold buys, and then the short on gold would have been here. I literally said, guys, if silver takes out liquidity and gold is in the mitigation zone, then pull the trigger. Hopefully you did. If you did, tighten stops up to here. I've never missed this many trades in one session, I think, in my life. Where like it was all there. Fuck yeah, dude. Okay. Shakeout, take profit. NQ sells, take profit. Gold buys, take profit. Gold sells, in profit. in theory. Tight. All right. Let me catch up in the chat here. Stops in profit for gold. Break even. Okay. Yeah, this reacted, so I think this stop, if it's gonna work out, you know, like you have it here, so worst case reduce loss, or maybe you had to break even, but this is the reaction. That's how you manage your trade. So good management. Okay, so no positions yet. TP on YM, nice, good stuff, Joe. You're in doubt, Effie. We funded, baby. Let's go, Brandon. Let's go. Come on now. 3R on YM, excellent. Vaughn, you missed it. It's okay. Harshi, Let's go, man. What's up, Jay? MCL in the zone. Is it in buy zones? Hold on. I have a zone here. No, don't leave me. Not again. No, come back for me. Son of a bitch. This mitigated already, and then it's chilling over here. Taking out some more highs. Let's see here. All right, this is holding structure better than gold did. So look at how gold came up. Silver pushed up again. These are breaking structure while oil is still holding it down. So the trade I'm going to take is going to be the one that gets stopped out. Because this isn't a valid re-entry. Like the reaction already happened. So here, this already exchanged money right there. So the reason I'm considering it is because of how we're seeing everything else move. So I'm open to moves here with oil, and oil also moves with the market, like with our direction. So for a re-entry here, or an entry in general, that triggered me in kind of weird. So let's see if we can get the reversal on oil. Same thing goes. Gold already reacted. Look at how it's pumping so strongly, while oil is chilling. So here, let's see. What's the contract? All right, so I'm in buys on oil. One with a little bit less risk, but it's holding structure really well. So look at how oil is doing this, while gold is still going at a higher low, while gold and silver are breaking above. So oil just holding the fort down significantly better. And because of that, actually, I'm gonna add another contract onto this. Okay. All right. I got 10 contracts going on the cup account. And then regarding take profit. Okay, so let's zoom out on oil so you guys have a good take on what I'm doing here. I don't necessarily need to take this to the highs. We saw a liquidity sweep here. The market tried to make higher highs, but we kept losing demand every time it tried. So going for higher highs here, I think is a little too ambitious. Like there's definitely imbalance and there's motive, but I don't think that's entirely necessary. So just trading to fill some of this imbalance up here, think it's more than enough, like trading up into these zones. So I can actually tighten this up a little bit more. And I'm cool with taking profit over here. And that still would be a 3R. Yeah, just about a 3R. Getting a good reversal right out of the entry that we had over here. Okay, so some movement up about 150 per account. So it's not bad. We're starting to see metals also align, so movement there. Starting to get reversals with Dow and Q. Sweet. Okay. So you know what? Like, yeah, I missed some of the action there, but oil is doing its thing. I mean, whatever. Like, I genuinely believe I don't trade because I need to do anything, right? The setup just happened to be there. There's just been so many setups today that it's blown my mind, but they're all valid. So, cool. You know, like, sweet. Like, I'm with it. Okay. Now, trade management wise with oil. This first trade is this, right? The actual initial movement is that the market sells off about 100 points. It reacts instantly. Those well over 100, 160, pulls back into this imbalance over here. So it rebalances. We saw the divergence. And so stops at this point can be moved at least to here, if not to this low. I don't see a world in which this would break this low and still rally. So reducing my risk. Now, instead of having a, what did I have here? Like a 70-point risk. Now it's down to 20. So I cut my risk significantly. Now I'm exposed very minimally on this trade. And it still has enough room to withstand some imbalance fill if it needs to, and then still be able to kind of take the next leg if that's the case. So let's see if that's going to be the case or not. Okay, so overall reversals with everything happening in real time. We have S&P finally cleared the highs of the day, Tuesday's New York session highs, and traded into Tuesday's London session high over here. So it looks like you got a clean mitigation out of that zone for S&P. Dow still hasn't taken the high. That's over here from 7:30 a.m. Central. So we could definitely take some of this a little bit higher. I wonder if that's what's influencing oil shorting or pushing lower a little bit more. And Q already did that thing. It sort of already took out everything, played into imbalance really well, losing some steam there. No trades. I'm not like, I don't see any setups here with indices. It already did its thing. Maybe we get something later for buys, but just kind of wait this thing out. Gold took out liquidity now successfully. This trend line liquidity swept. Then came down for a couple minutes. Still not shorting for me. So what has the best chance of working out is the trade that I'm in right now. Obviously in my opinion, is oil. Stops reduced. If we break above here again, honestly now, even if we just kind of fill this imbalance again, then I'll start to tighten down to right there. I'm still in the zone. Yeah, Joe, hopefully you caught it. Missed it? Okay, that happens. It's okay. All my alerts are coming in so late. Yeah, shit's insane. 500 from being funded again. Let's go, Michael. Hell yeah. Some of them were slow, some of them were valid, that I just didn't respond to. But these were like, you needed just hotkey market execution. Yeah, good stuff, man. I love it. Got news later. A lot of split decision making. For sure. It's fun. It's good. And then right now is our oil inventories right now. It's Wednesday, 9:30. Where is this thing? Huh. It's not here anymore. What? Where they show like metals and... Am I tripping? They switched this thing up, huh? I feel like typically there'd be a section where you choose news outlets for metals and then for everything else. No button anymore. That's sad. No button anymore. There used to be a place where you could just go to the news for metals or whatever. I don't know where that's. I haven't checked honestly in a minute, so I guess it's gone now. Okay, so gold, the buy was it, man. Holy shite. And then stopped. Am I going to be stopped out here? Let's see. This is holding up so well relative to everything else. Like, I want to give this to space. I'm going to make the call. Because here's the only reason I'm doing that is that everything else is absolutely like popping off. Like look at silver with the massive liquidity push right now. Gold also into the imbalance. So this is ripping while oil, my bad, is holding it pretty decent still. So there's a chance that this still wants to withstand. Like this is still making a higher low while everything else is moving so terribly. So that's why I was okay with still like seeing the risk, being exposed to the full risk on this idea, because there's more context to the trade now than there was before. If there wasn't, then I wouldn't typically do that. But we have way more context, like liquidity, like this is on an absolute rampage and oil is still kind of chilling. Now, can I get stopped out still? Absolutely, right? 100%. But I'm okay with that. Like it is. I have accepted the possibility. Here we go. But that's the setup though. Like that would be it. There's nothing else I would really take here, unless we get something completely different regarding just the context of the trade. So. The buys were it. Shakeout buys were it on Dow, and it ended up being the most bullish. So the flip in price action also happened. Oh man, you gotta love it. You gotta love it. Hanging on for dear life over here with oil. Here, it's right. It's supposed to be right there. And then, yeah, let's see. If it does reverse, then it probably will be quite aggressive. Like, now that everything is reversed, everything else has broken way beyond this. Like, everything else is trading, if this was the same asset, it's like trading over here. Whereas oil is like holding down this low from 15 minutes ago like a tank. Meanwhile, gold is trading like way over here. If this was flip-flopped, is what I'm saying. Indices. So this, I wouldn't be surprised if we do end up actually trading beyond all of this. Still on FX Street. All right, cool. I mean, it's already happened. Inventories already came out, so whatever. Cool. If we start to see major reversals with like really, it can be anything. So silver shakeout was the absolute banger of a trade. Gold getting to its imbalance fill. This was the trade that we had set up here. Could be getting reversals out of here now. Indices. Yeah, all right, we'll see. Oil sitting at entry. Sweet. So we're getting more and more proof of concept here. I could be scaling into this more because of the way it's holding structure down. So if we get another little, if we can hold some good structure and get a little pullback in, my goal is to just get to the 1R, because right now I think I'm underexposed on this trade. But yeah, I mean, sick. Let me, oh, I didn't do this here, I forgot. We're up 100 on this one. Cool. Quarter window. All right, did that mess this thing up? It did. Okay, 1 second, y'all. Camera's doing camera things. Oh, it finally looks good. Oh, nice. Y'all keep that like that. This one, though. Un momento, por favor. Okay, back. MCL Mini gave us equal lows. Shut up, Seth. Let me get a dub, bro. Let me get a dub. 52, 542 on an apex. That's where you're at right now? Like that's how much you say you need a little bit more? Or did you just pass? We funded? Oh, nice. Hell yeah. I thought you needed 53 for Apex. Am I wrong? Is that true? Oh, sick. Let's go, dude. Congrats. Hey, hella people got funded on this. Tight. Yeah, where's the siren? I always thought all of them are 53K. I didn't, but maybe it's not. It's possible it's not. I just closed position. Yeah. Well, hopefully I'm wrong. Let's go. Tight. Well, guys. I mean, I would review this session. There's a lot to learn, analysis wise. Obviously, you know, y'all know we got it like that here. Trading wise, interesting. I am gonna do a little personal reflection with you guys here. Just thinking about how this went. So to like as I'm reviewing, doing a mental like recap of the session, there was a lot of a couple of the zones were not really qualified for me. So it's like the idea in theory was cool, but there just wasn't enough demand for structure for me to take some of those positions. So which is fine. And then there were others where, because it was so back and forth between bullish and bearish and things just going absolutely crazy, it kind of threw off my decision making, because it wasn't just as textbook, since the markets were kind of inverse for a while and then eventually they got on the same page, and which I said was going to happen too. So in those situations, typically I do a half risk. I think that there wasn't, typically you have a little bit more time for decision making, and what I didn't want to do was just impulse buy or sell a lot of these plays. Yeah, that was really the main thing. The gold buy that was in our zone after liquidity sweep, like that should have been a half risk trade at minimum, even if silver was it. So there was a lot to keep in mind, and I'm okay with just catching this oil. Like, if I always caught all of the markups that I had, like I'd be hitting months of $100. Like you guys have seen them, just absolute insane setups that I've gone through here every day for some of you that have been working with me since 2018. Some of you are like 8 years in learning with me. Some of you are some maybe earlier, right? Like crazy, before I was even teaching on a stream. But it's 53,000, right? That's okay, bro. No worries. You'll hit it. So yeah, I mean, I think overall, like, the big thing is one, and here's what hopefully this is something that you guys can put together, and the difference between people that I'd say are making it and aren't, is that you didn't see me impulsively chase any idea at all. You didn't see, so you didn't see that. You didn't see overcompensation. You didn't see over leveraging, and all of the setups are valid. And the oil trade that I did take, which I should have had a better entry, I should have had a lower entry. The reason I was able to get into this was because of the divergence, and the reason I was able to open my stop back up to the original idea was because of that divergence with the correlated assets, or inverse correlated assets. So this holding up the way that it did just gave me the green light to take this the way I wanted to. And that's really it. So I am going to let this roll out a little bit further, because we're definitely leading the pace here. Maybe I'll take a contract off. Maybe I will leave a contract over there. Let's see. No, I think I'm gonna move it all. I'll manage this accordingly here in a second. So now that we're breaking above here and we're starting to crack through these highs, we're starting to see better price action, better structure. So whether you're going to tighten it up to here, or you're going to get a little bit more, reduce a little bit tighter, I think that's just up to preference and your own context of how you're seeing the market. So if we were to spike up and then immediately reverse, I would rather just have this at break even. If we maintain the structure and like we actually hold it down here and we're trading here for a while, then I can give it a little bit more breathing room. So like right now we haven't taken out this high yet, right? We're pretty close. So then I would just keep it with some space like here. If we take out those highs, right? So I'd do it like this. I don't know why I have to. I can just delete this. Delete this too. No, don't close it. Sell stop. That's what you would want as a stop loss for futures. I'm gonna go cry myself to sleep. That's funny. I wish I was cool like you, Mike. No FOMO. Oh, I'm not cool. I just have made more mistakes and learning a bit about them here and there over the time. And I'm not a perfect trader by any means. Definitely an imperfect trader. But I strive to, just be aware of thoughts, feelings, where I'm operating out of, present, past, future, and getting back to where I need to be. But yeah, all right, guys, y'all crushed it. Y'all absolutely crushed it. A lot of syndicate members, a handful here I see got funded or able to make some. Nancy went crazy on gold over there. So I love it. Guys, keep it up. Keep it up. If you've wanted to work with me more hands-on but don't know how, drop a 3 in the chat and I'll reach out to you and see how we can work together if you want to work more hands-on to get your skills to where you need to be so you can trade the way that I do, or better. And not trade exactly like me, but to have, your sauce and use your personality and your preferences to really crush it. So yeah, drop a 3 in the chat. I'll reach out to you guys and then we can make it happen. So sweet. The way that the market's moving now, it looks like a couple ideas might be in potential shakeout, like it's starting to form like silver here. Silver took out a lot of liquidity, tons of liquidity, and then it came back down, starting to build out break and retest buyers. So maybe there's a silver short in there later on. I think that probably looks the cleanest out of all of them. And then obviously we have the oil buys that are something we're looking for. Hey, where's I and I am? Yeah. I was I've been an educator. I was an educator for them for like 7 years. 8 years? 7, 8 years. And then I was then the number 1 educator right before that. I resigned. Yeah. So we've been doing this for a long time. Always 3s. All right, Hazley, I'll hit you up. Turco, I'll hit you up, or hit me up if you have my info. Hit me up on school or shoot me a message on Instagram or if you have my number. Cool. Favorite I am educator? That's love. Appreciate y'all. Cool. All right, y'all. If you're not in the community, I'll post a thing at the top. But I typed 3, but you already did the fast track thing. Yeah. Now you're good. Obviously, you know the next steps whenever that's your time as well. So much love, y'all. We'll be back again tomorrow for day 4 of the Tradeify Cup. Let's get qualified, y'all. Let's make it happen. And then congrats to everyone that got funded, that's getting paid. We'll just leave it at that. Peace out.